All right, then let's get started since everyone can hear us fine. Good evening, everyone. A very happy Women's Day to all the ladies here tonight, and a warm greetings to all the others who are here to cheer on and empower the women in their life. Now, tonight's session is just the beginning of a series of events that we have planned for the Women Empowerment Month of March. For us, this is a very special celebration because our founder, Kathlyn Toh, who you will be hearing from later, is actually one of the very rare and prominent female traders that is successful in the stock market, especially in Malaysia. Now, normally when people talk about the stock market, you might imagine the faces of a few older gentlemen such as Warren Buffett or even George Soros, but what about females? Can you name a few famous female traders and investors off the top of your head? You can type in the it in the comments and I can see it. If so, any of you know of any famous female traders and investors? Well, nobody seems to know any. I think that's actually the problem, isn't it? It's very difficult for us to think of any prominent female traders and investors, and it's not because they don't exist, but rather they are so underrepresented in the media. I think that the success of these women investors and traders should also be shown to the world so that more people can be inspired and to take action. And well, personally, I believe that anyone can be successful in the stock market regardless of their gender, and our gender is not a limitation for us. I think that there's a perception out there, perhaps, that the stock market is only for old white men, and we are here to change that. I'm not sure how many of you have that perception as well. If you do, can you please type in a comment to let me know? If not, then, well, that's great news. We don't want you to have that perception. Okay, so we are here because we want to empower and inspire women to get started and be successful in the stock market as well. Even I myself was inspired by Kathlyn a few years ago to get started in the stock market, and I'm always very grateful that I did. I believe it's one of the best decisions in my life, and I want this circle of inspiration where women inspire and empower more women to be, reciprocated, that it can be spread to widen this circle. In fact, even Bursa actually reported yearly increases of newly opened accounts by women. Now, before I show you the statistics, can you guess how many % of new accounts were opened by women in 2022? This is, I'm talking about Bursa here, so the Malaysian stock market. Anyone want to take a guess? How many percentage of women open new accounts last year? There's no right or wrong, just a guess. Any of you have a guess? 20? I see 20. Well, okay, let me share these statistics and we'll see how that is. Okay. So actually, in 2022 itself, there were 36% of these new accounts were opened by women. I'm not sure about you, but personally, I expected it to be higher. But the good news is there's a steady increase from 2020, where it was just 32%, and it's definitely been climbing. Globally, it's quite similar, where in the US market, around 38% of the traders are females. But can you guess the percentage of female investors and traders that are our students? So how many percentage of our students are actually female? Who wants to take a guess? Anyone have a guess? I see the previous, statistics is quite wide. Any of you know how many % of our students are females? You have a benchmark here where Bursa was 36%, and in the US stock market is actually 38%. Ru, you're quite near. So actually in Beyond Insights, 45%, oops, I forgot to show the statistics here, but 45% of our students are actually women. That's almost half. That's good news. But we also did observe that more females than males actually joined our courses these past 2 years. So, you can see that's aligned with the bigger trend as well, right? That's why we always say follow the trend. Okay, so Now stop sharing my screen. Hold on. Now, it's definitely good news that more women are starting to participate in the stock market, because many women are mothers. There's a natural tendency and instinct to give more in terms of taking care of the family, and also that, you have to juggle many things. Right nowadays, women are also career driven. We want to excel in our careers as well, but yet you also have your family to take care of, and you also have, some of you also have children. And what about your personal time? Is that out of the window? We have heard comments from many of our students that, it's actually quite tough to juggle so many things. And they feel guilty even when they can't spend enough time with their children. Not sure, if any of you actually feel this way as well. So the question is, how do we manage that, right? So now allow me to bring on our founder, Kathlyn Toh, who has 30 years of experience in the stock market, to discuss this topic. Okay. Hi, Kathlyn.
Hi, Ning-Feng,
welcome.
And hi everyone who is online with us.
Yes, welcome.
Have all of you here. Yeah, and happy International Women's Day.
Yes. So Kathlyn, why would you say that women can also succeed in investment and trading as long as they put their mind to it?
Yeah, actually, when I started, I didn't even think about it. When I first started trading, whether there's enough women who are successful. For me, I attended an event called the National Achiever Congress, right, which has few thousand people, and there was a speaker which teach about investment and trading. He's actually a male from Australia, David Nowak. And after I attended it, what he presented makes sense to me, and I just think, okay, if he can do it, why not me, right? And I attending a proper training class, and I just started. So I don't need much evidence. But now that people ask me more about this, right, I tend to go back and I tend to recall back. There was actually predominantly male speaker at that time as well, right? Yeah, not just about investment and trading. There's more male speaker than female speaker in the National Achiever Congress. So if we were to type down on this male and female gender, we probably won't venture to do something different. Yeah. So I like to, a lot of people perceive there's not many female traders. Actually, that's not true. So because a lot of students ask me about this question, so I actually research on it and I shared with them to build their belief that they can be successful, right? So let me share some of the very successful women traders here as well. Okay. Yeah, so this is one of it, which I read about her. Very successful women trader called Smita Sadhana. Right, she's actually a very successful individual trader first before she managed a fund. Right now, she's actually managing this Green Era Capital, right, with her two partners. And the next one is Justine Parlett. Yeah, also very famous. She's a very successful individual professional trader, right? Individual trader who trades shares as well as a CFD. CFD stands for contract for difference. It's an instrument that allows you to buy shares at a lower cost, yeah, which is between 20 to 30+% of the stock price to make it more affordable. And there's also one that's very famous. She's always on CNBC in the past. So this is Kathy Lian, who is actually managing director of the FX strategy. She's the one who started up the Forex website called dailyfx.com. Yeah, and she wrote quite a number of books on this. And this is another famous one, Cathy Wood, right? I'm not sure how many of you are aware of her. She's, you can see there's all of these different age group. It doesn't mean it has to be the age of Warren Buffett and George Soros, So a lot of people thought like you have to be that old, like to make your money. It's not true. I look at it, she's young. Yeah, this is like she's very young. When she started, she was only like 20 years old. Yeah. And Cathy Woods is probably one of the oldest here, 67 years old. Of course, she started trading way long ago, and she managed a fund called Up Invest. Yeah, and also discovered there's actually many women fund managers, right? So here's a directory. Someone actually collected 100women.org, okay, just to inspire more women in finance, right? So they collected more than 100 actually. When they started initiative, their target is to get 100. And let's look at this, right? So there are many pages to this, right? So you can see here at the bottom, right? So many pages. So just share with you. You can see a lot of Americans, Westerner, but there's also Asians here. You can see here, Wei Hui Chen, right? Wen Zheni, right? These are Asian, Jillian Qi. So it's not only Americans or Europeans, right? Yeah, so you can see here, the investment. Yeah, so there's a lot of evidence that women can also be successful. So I hope you're inspired now. Are you more inspired now that women can do it as well? Just type a yes, yeah, on the Facebook chat. Just that they're not so famous, right? They're not on the media. Yeah.
Kathlyn, meanwhile, while you're waiting for them, can you just double check your mic for me?
Oh,
a bit soft.
Oh,
just to
okay.
make sure you're on the
can you hear me better?
Yeah, much better
okay.
now. Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, please continue.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you know, the question is what actually holds people, what do you think holds women back from investing and trading? Right. I'd like to ask you as well, right? Have you started investing or trading? Yeah. If you have started, you know, type yes. If not, just type no. Yeah. So that I can actually see the interaction here. Okay, great. So what do you think typically holds women back from investing or trading? Okay, I like to answer not yet. Okay, not yet. It's not yet. Yeah, paper trading, very good. Based on my understanding and after talking to many people, because I conduct a lot of free seminars, majority of the time, people are concerned with no time, right? And there's a perception that trading takes a lot of time. So let me ask you back this question. How much time do you think you need, right, to invest or trade? Yeah, type on the Facebook comments here. Like, how much time do you think you need in order to invest or trade? There are actually many people who, when they got to know that I'm trading primarily the US market, I trade US market and global indices, but I started trading way back in 1993 in Bursa Malaysia first. Okay, so when I mentioned to people that I'm focusing on US stock market and global indices now, the next thing they ask me is, do you sleep? Okay, that was a shock to me. Why would that be a perception that I don't sleep? I need to sleep definitely, right? The next day I need to manage my company Beyond Insights. So that means there's a perception that you need to be there on market open until market close. So for those, and that's why some people say they prefer to trade in the Bursa Malaysia. So I asked them back this question. So if you trade the Malaysia stock market, does it mean that you need to be there on your screen from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Malaysian time? Right? The answer is no. But would there be a tendency for you to want to look at it? Of course, the answer is yes. If you have a position, you may want to know what is the price right now, right? But it's not an absolutely must. In fact, it could be a distraction. Okay, so I consciously choose the US market when I was working in Intel so that it doesn't distract me when I'm working during the office hour. And also because in Malaysian market, in the past at least, right, there's no stop loss feature, right? So there's always anxiety. So when I talk to a lot of Malaysian investors, they tend to have a need to check the market very often. That's because of a lack of money management. Okay, so in the US stock market, all the brokers have a feature for you to put stop loss, okay, and also profit targets. So once I place my order, I put a stop loss. Stop loss is a threshold where you want the broker, which is a computer platform, right, computer software, to automatically close the position for you, sell for you. It falls below your cut loss point, yeah. And you can also set a profit target where it automatically take profit for you. So once you have set this, you know, you can just do other things, right? You don't have to be staring on the screen. Yeah. Okay. But this perception is quite prominent. I just have a Form 6 classmate gathering and my friend tell me the same thing. I said, what's holding you back from investing? I said, I don't have time. How much time is your perception? You know, probably have to look at the market the whole day. That's most people's perception. So I hope that's not yours. Okay, so even though I trade the US market, right now the US market open at 10:30 p.m. But next month it will start to change to 9:30 p.m. Right, where there's a daylight savings change. And 8 months in the year, the US market open at 9:30 p.m. our time. Yeah, and only 4 months is 10:30 p.m. So if you're an investor, you don't even need to be there on market open, right? You should be more passive. You just screen stocks and then you decide what is the right price to buy. And you can put what we call a pending order in the software, right? It just take 5 minutes to do that. Say, buy for me. Let's say when Microsoft come to this price, right? And when they buy, automatically put a stop loss. There's a automatic order where buy for me, let's say at 200, but sell for me if it drop below 195. Okay, then you can go to bed knowing that the max risk is, we have a max risk of 1% of our capital, right? Knowing that if the max risk is 1% of capital, even though it hit your stop loss, can you sleep well? Like, so that's the most important part, is the money management. Yeah. However, right, a lot of people, because of the unknown, they have a fear, right? The fear of losing money is quite pervasive among a lot of people. And like Warren Buffett quote, right? He says, fear comes from not knowing what you are doing. And that's how I perceive as well, because I've gone through many different crises. First, when I started trading Malaysia stock market, the first crisis I experienced was the 1997 Asian financial crisis, where the Malaysia stock market itself has dropped between 50 to 70%, depending on which stocks you are looking at. Even the most conservative unit trust fund, right? A lot of people thought unit trust fund are safe. Even the most conservative unit trust fund, which is the savings funds or the dividends fund, dropped 50%. Okay. So the first question comes to my mind is, what are the fund managers doing? Okay. Yeah. So later I found out that it's because if they cut loss on that, it will cause a chain reaction to the entire market, because they have such a huge fund, right? So if they sell, who do they sell to? There's not enough retail traders. Retail traders are individual traders like you and me, right? There's not enough individual traders to take up the positions, and there's not enough features to hedge the position. Hedge is a protect, right? So they just need to hold until it come back, but it may take years to come back. So that was my first impression of trading being risky, right? And a lot of people have that impression as well. Until I attended classes and I learned it properly, then I realized, oh, that's actually a way to manage the risk, right? You must define the maximum risk before you enter the position, right? So we have a golden rule, which is do not risk more than 1% of your capital in any single investment or trade. Yeah, trade is for short-term, investment is for long-term. So if you have defined that and you place the order in the broker software, right, then you can sleep well. In fact, it just takes 5 minutes to enter an order. After that, if you're busy, you can get back to your work, right? And you can decide on what to buy and do your analysis any time of the day. It's not only during the US market open. Yeah. So in fact, if you decide on what to buy and when to buy, what price to buy before the market open, it's much better for you, because you don't get emotional. Right? During the market open, you just want to check whether is it near the price. Sometimes you want to adjust the price a bit. That's it. Yeah? Of course, there are 4 different trading styles, from long-term, mid-term, short-term. Yeah, long-term is your horizon is more than 3 years. Yeah, and mid-term is a few months to a year. We call it trend trading. Then there's swing trading, which you keep for 1 to 2 weeks. Yeah, so it's a short-range target. And there's also more active strategy, which is intraday, also something I love to do. Which is you need to be prepared before market open, about half an hour to 1 hour. Then you trade for 1 to 2 hours into market open. It's not staying the whole night. Right? So based on this, you decide. If you don't have much time, you can do long-term investment, which only take about 1 hour a month is sufficient. At least you get started. If you have more time, then you can trade more often, yeah, more frequency, which is like intraday trading or the short-term swing trading. Yeah, so I hope that this perceptions can go away in terms of it takes a lot of time, because if you always perceive that it takes a lot of time, we'll never get started. Yeah, so the education that I receive very important. It overcome a lot of the wrong perception that I have about the stock market. Yeah, then the other part about the perception that holds people back is actually about losses, right? Too much losses. Again, this relates to money management. Yeah, you have to define the risk upfront, and you need to be right. Yeah, you need to be like 80% to 90%. Some people even tell me, "Can you be 100% right in trading if I learn from you?" So I say there's no such thing. Right? I want to tell you the truth. There's no such thing called 100% right. Right? What is the reason? Even if you learn from me or anyone, there's no way to guarantee 100% right, because how many traders are there in the world? There are millions of traders, and each one of them make different decisions. And that can cause the market noise. But that doesn't mean you cannot make money. Right? So that's the other perception that I was wrong as well. When I first started, I also thought that if I attended proper class, it has to be at least 80% right, okay, minimum, for it to be considered a great strategy. Right.
So
and after I traded, yes, yeah.
Kathlyn, actually, I think it's time for you to answer, our most popular question for the day.
Oh, okay.
So are men or women better traders?
Oh, okay. Good. Yeah, thanks for coming back to that. Yeah. What do you think? I'd like to see your response first. Those on the
Type in the chat, guys.
chat, yeah.
Do
Are
you think
men or women better traders? Okay. Women. Okay. Why women? Okay. Why women? Okay. So let me share some statistics with you. Right. So I'll leave it for a while first, so I can get more answers before I show you the statistics. Okay. So let me check the chat here. Okay. Just because I'm one of them. Okay. Women can do better if they follow the correct method. Okay. So women tend to follow rules, is it? Okay, so let me show you this statistics, which is very inspiring. This is from the CMC market, one of the brokers, which actually did a study. This is actually a pretty comprehensive study, right? So it's a pretty long article. So let me just share with you the sample size, right? This is actually taken in the late 1990s, although it's been quite a while, but the representation is quite wide, which is 35,000 accounts from a large discounted brokerage company, right? So the sample size is pretty big. And this is the findings, right?
Kathlyn, please share your screen.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I thought I'm still sharing this now. Okay. Was I sharing my screen just now when I was showing all the stats?
You were.
The women?
Yes,
oh, okay.
yes, you're right.
Okay, okay. I thought the screen wasn't shared after that. Yeah.
Yep, we can see your screen now.
Okay, yeah. So you can see, yeah. So let me just share with you the top part. Yeah, over here. It described the study of 35,000 accounts at a large discounted brokerage company. And this is the findings, which men trade 45% higher frequency, right? That means they go buy and sell more frequency than women, but the returns is lesser than women. Okay, although the returns are not significantly down, 2.65%, but it shows that trading less is actually better than trading more frequently. Right, so I also shared with our students about this. It's not about trading a lot, right? Trading a lot doesn't mean you have better results. It's about trading the better setup. Okay, it's just like in a business, right? You don't take every deals, right? Some of it is bad deals. Just like real estate, you don't, not every real estate or not every property is a good deal. So like in trading, it's the same. So you want to take the good deals, right? So the good deals we actually describe as one that has a better setup. Okay, the probability of success and the reward always makes sense, right? It's a better setup for you, then you would have better returns. So let's work and get more money. Who likes this part? I don't need to enter and exit so fast, right? So much, yeah. Okay, so I hope that you are inspired as well. But the most important part is why, right? Why women actually has a better success rate here. And this article actually shows women tend to admit their mistakes, right? And men tends to have more ego, right? So a need to be right can get the men to hold on to the losses too long. Although I won't say that this is for all cases, right? I don't want to stereotype. Both men and women also have challenges to cut loss, okay? After trading for so long, I know a lot of people have this challenge for cut loss, because cutting loss can mean that I'm wrong, okay? Most people don't want to be wrong, whether it's a male or female, but men tends to have higher ego. Okay, and men like to have that adrenaline rush, which is big win. Right? More women are more comfortable with small, consistent win rather than one big win. Right? That's why there are more men in cryptocurrency compared to women. Right? Women tend to be more conservative. Right? Because women tend to be more conservative, so women tends to follow the rules better as well. Yeah, compared to men. Men like to create their own rules. Okay, of course, this is just in general. There's always exception. And this is staying cool under pressure, right? Women tends to be more patient, and women tends to avoid risk. This can be good and bad. Avoiding risk, it should not be to the extent that I don't want to trade in the stock market because I think it's risky, right? That will be overly conservative. It's about how can I manage the risk, okay? Rather than I don't want to take risks. Yeah. So if you don't want to take risks at all, then you cannot be in the stock market. Okay, I'll be honest with you. You can't be in business as well, right? In business, you take risks. So it's all about whether the risk is worth taking and whether you can limit the risk, right? So if you want to do trading, first, we have a way to limit the risk, and we show you how to assess whether the reward versus the risk is worth taking, right? Rather than avoiding risk at all, right? And the other part is about setting goals. This article shows that men tends to be more competitive, and women might avoid getting caught up in the adrenaline rush. This is the one I mentioned, like men tends to want to have the big wins. And women tends to look at the big picture for the long run, because women are more family centric, like not all the time, right? But tend to focus on the children, right? Whether the children has enough money for their education, for their future, tends to worry a lot. How many of you agree women tends to worry a lot? And because of that, they tend to be more conservative, right? So this is hard-earned money, I don't want to waste it. So they tend to follow the money management rules better. However, when you actually trade, of course, you will have temptation to break rules initially, right? Until the point where you decide, okay, you cannot go on like this, and you will discipline yourself, right? So this is some of the reasons and stats I show you why women can be better traders. And personally, for me, I do agree that I tend to think very long term. Okay, even when I started working, I have a few years of cash flow forecast. Will forecast what is my income level versus my expenses. So I will decide how much I can save, because I was inspired to do trading at that time, and I didn't have much money to trade, right? So I don't come from a rich family. I have to save up for 1 whole year to be able to buy my first stock in the Malaysia stock market at that time. Okay, 1 whole year. So I only started trading my 2nd year of my job. So I know that that's not enough. I want to be able to invest more. So I decided to have my cash flow forecast. So every month I will look at how much I can save up so that I can fund my account more. Okay. So I tend to look very forward, and I have my financial plan. I could have done it way earlier, right? So the first part, when I first started working, I didn't have a proper financial plan. Only when I was 35 years old, yeah. So I started doing my financial plan, and I realized that that's not money. So I took my trading seriously since then. Okay. Yeah. So I hope you are inspired by that. Is there any questions related to still not convinced why women can do it, or what is holding you back, right? If there's still something that holds you back from investing or trading, yeah, what is your doubt, so I can help you address that, that doubt inside of you.
Well, Kathlyn, so far in the comments, everyone seems to agree that women are better traders as well.
Oh, okay, great.
So yeah, if any of you have any more questions, please post it in the comments so that Kathlyn can address it. If not, Kathlyn, do you have anything else to add on? If not, thank you so much for giving us the confidence on why women can also succeed in investment and trading. But
yeah, actually, more than the why women can succeed, I also want to emphasize on why women must learn about investment and trading. I'm very risk averse type person, and I need high certainty for my future type of person. And since young, I have been independent because I have seen how my father struggled financially. And it's also very difficult when my mom need to rely on him for money, right? So can you imagine asking the husband for money, right? Knowing that he's tight financially, how does that feel? And even as his children, right? I also feel tough when I ask my dad for money, right? I got admitted to the Leeds and also Monash University, but my father cannot afford it. Right. So I went to an education fair at that time where the dean for the university came here for education fair, and he looked at my results, and he got me, he actually gave me a certificate of admission. And it was very tough for me to talk to my father. Okay, so that's why when I grow up, I know how important is it for us to be financially independent and to plan for our children's future education. So for, as a woman, we also tend to live longer. Okay, so I also have that fear, right? I look at statistics all the time. In Malaysia, women live until on average 80 years old, right? Men lifespan is 76. So what does it mean to you? Right? We have to plan longer. And anything can happen to anyone. Okay, there was one time I have an accident on the North-South Highway, which is a near-death accident. Like my car turned turtle, yeah. And that actually alerted me, right? So this can happen to myself or my husband, right? To anyone who has children as well, right? So what's going to happen if I have children, right? And also if I have to depend on my husband's income, right? Then I just didn't like that feeling of anxiety. So I always wanted to be financially independent. Yeah, make sure I have enough finances for my future. So I do my forecast because of that. So I hope that all of you also take your financial plan seriously, right? Don't take for granted that, you and your husband has a secured income right now. And the pandemic is actually a good warning, right? Yeah, the job can go away anytime. And this is just pandemic, it could be anything, right? Transformation of technology, with the AI coming, right? Certain jobs will be replaced. Of course, if you're a thinker type, then it will not be replaced easily. But I also think about, what if I cannot work one day, right? What if anything happened to me? So that's why I don't only do trading, active trading, I also do investing. Right, so I still have passive investment in case I cannot click on the mouse anymore. Right, future maybe there's a voice activation. I think about all that. Yeah, so I hope that you also consider that as well. And the other part is, how do you feel when you are financially independent, that you can also help out the family? I have family members that are tight financially, right? Where like the youngest children in the family tends not to plan for the finance. So on and off, I see my family members being tight. At least I have, the financial ability to help out, okay, rather than the whole family is tight again. Yeah, so that's the where I feel great. How do you feel when you know that you can, you're independent and you can contribute beyond yourself, right? Yeah, so that's one thing that inspire me to take my trading seriously. Yeah, and on top of that, the other one is, there's a lot of statistics that financial challenges cause a lot of relationship issues. Right? How many of you agree with that? Or already facing that? Okay, so I want to show you some facts, not so nice facts, but it's the truth, right? Can you still see my screen right now?
No, Kath,
okay, so
the screen is not on anymore.
Yeah, okay. So let me share this. Yeah, this is a CNBC report on fighting with your spouse. It's probably about this, right? Yeah, so it shows that 35% of all respondents experience relationship stress because of money friction. And also in Malaysia, there's this report on financial issues is the biggest cause of divorce in Malaysia. Right, this is from the New Straits Times. Yeah, and the divorce case, for 2008, out of 6,901 cases of divorce, right? Yeah, so 2,971 related to financial problems. Yeah, and this article, how does money affect relationship? Like, so that means if we solve our money issues, it will reduce a significant part of our relationship challenge. Okay, this article has I won't go into details here, but it's actually talk about what are the relationship issues that are related to money and why, right? Like a husband and wife with different spending habit, then when you have a debt, then it causes some stress, and also financial satisfaction, right? Different people have different standards, right? One want to travel around the world and one cannot afford it, then you start to have that stress. Money sharing, who pay for what, right? Power play, who has more money, then they tend to have more say. When you're in the lovey-dovey, during your dating time, it's okay, but once your passion drops, after some time, then all this will come into become a stress in the family, right? Unequal income, jealousy and so on. So that's why I said, when you remove the financial stress, it actually helps a lot in the relationship. Yeah, so that's why I think it's very important for family to, not just for women, right? Even for men to manage the finance well and plan for the future. Okay, how many of you agree with that? You type a yes. Okay.
Okay, I'm sure they do. So, you can see that, although money, it doesn't solve all problems, right? But it definitely solves a lot of problems, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So,
I'm not sure whether you're still seeing my screen. I forgot to share this statistics I got from Malaysia. One of the research in Malaysia, it's pretty long, right? Cost of personal financial stress in Malaysia study. And this is not too long ago, 2021. There's a pie chart here I'd like to share. 37% is caused by poor financial planning. And another 35% is high cost of living, right? We have high inflation here. And the rest are like failure or slowdown, then loss of jobs and so on. You can see the majority of people don't plan for their finances, right? They don't invest it. And they don't have a way to cope with the high inflation. Now the big theme overall, like for the world, is actually high inflation. Yeah. So I hope that with these stats, right, all of you will take this your financial investments and also your financial planning seriously.
Okay, so Kathlyn, what does it take for them to be successful in this?
Okay, good question. I think after doing a deep thinking from all the questions I've received so far, and what stopped people from pursuing this, or what stopped people halfway, is actually a belief. First, you need to believe that you can be successful. Okay, and what has to happen for you to build the belief, right? And everyone is different. For me, it just have to make sense. Someone explained to me, and it makes sense. I do my financial plan. I know that even if I continue to work for Intel until I retire, I won't be able to be financially independent. Okay, that's why I must do something differently. So I make it a must. So the first is you need to overcome the belief, right? So a lot of times most people need too much evidence before they start, right? They need a lot of references. Is my friend successful yet? If I were to wait for my friends to be successful before I get started, probably I won't be here today. Right? Because most people procrastinate in things like this, right? So you wait for me, I wait for you, and never get started. I have a friend who attended a lot of trading class when during my early days, and I asked her, "Oh, how's this class?" I have attended quite a lot already. Then, so I was more selective after I attended 11. Okay, so then when I see her attending some class, I like to learn a lot. So I want to see whether it's worth it. Then I say, "Oh, I'm still busy, so let me settle down my network first. Let me sit down and get a handle of it first before I share with you." I waited 1 year and she still haven't started. Okay, so in the end I said, "Okay, can you lend me your manual?" So I just scan through and I see whether there's enough new things for me to learn. And I said, "Okay, so I've scanned through the manual. I think it's now new things." So I signed up for the course myself, and I started trading earlier than her. And that's why I don't believe that, don't keep waiting for evidence. So just look at the simple things, you and your colleague in the company, right? Is there a difference between the performance of you and your colleague, right? Or all the people graduate from the same university? Are there a difference in their success in life? Okay, all from the same university, your same classmate. And what makes the difference? Right? Most of the time is their belief and action, right? Yeah, so don't need to look for so much, right? Just have it as a common sense, right? Does it make sense? And of course, people want some evidence of success rate, right? But don't wait for too long. Don't wait for your friend, your relatives, right? Must be someone you know, okay? Just, for example, what if Warren Buffett wait for someone to be successful first before he start? Or what if George Soros need to wait for someone to prove to him before he start? Or what if Richard Branson wait for someone to have a successful budget airline before he start? Right, then he won't be where he is today, right? So I think belief is very important. And sometimes people have some losses, they start to give up. Right, so in a business, it's the same. Right? So you need to treat trading as a business of trading. Right? Just like your career, not just because you fail on one project, right? Then you are not employable, right? So in trading, you will face some challenges, right? You'll have some losses when you are new, you will break some rules, right? Then you discipline yourself, right? Face some hard knock, then okay, I need to follow the rules. The good thing is there's paper trading, right? So you make all your mistake in paper trade. But the key thing is you need to have a strong belief that this work for you to follow through. So that's why I'm sharing all this evidence that women can be successful, right? Yeah. So then the next one is you need to make it a must, right? So you need to have a strong why. So I have my strong why because I built up I created my financial plan. I know it's a must. Okay? I know if I continue to work for my job in Intel, it won't be enough. Even though my last round pay in Intel was close to 20,000 a month, right? That was way back in 2008. So of course it comes with a lot of stress. I manage 102 people, basically have not much time, but I still enjoy my work. Okay, but when I work on my financial plan, it's not enough for me to retire financially free. So it's a must. Since it's a must, I dedicate 1 hour a day at least, to practice, to get there. And after 3 years, I was able to quit my job. So if you don't see it as a must, that's where you will waste a lot of time. And to me, time is money. Okay, so what does it take for you to believe it's a must? Right? Everyone is different. Like, why do you need to trade? And the next question, why do you need to trade well? Okay, it's not just about wanting to trade, but what makes you want to follow the rules, right? You need to have a strong enough reason for that. Like, if not, think through that so that it's strong enough. So work on your financial plan. It will actually prove to you that you must invest. Yeah, and so first is belief. Second, make it a must. The third is you must schedule it. Right? You cannot just say I do it when it's convenient. Right? So we will use up all our time. Everyone have the same time. So put it in your calendar for a start. I have it in my alarm every day. Okay, so now market open 10:30, right? So at 9:30, I will have my alarm on so that I don't miss it. Okay, just in case sometimes I get engrossed with follow some work, I will miss it, right? So it becomes a habit already. Okay, and Also the time to learn, right, over the weekend. So if you're new to investing and trading, just block 2 hours of your weekend, okay, to learn about it. And the next thing people would tell me is, I'm not sure whether I'm interested in this investment and trading. So you can build your interest. Even in my previous job, I think in any job, right, you won't be liking every single aspect of the job, right? There will be some administrative work, okay? There'll be performance management, okay? That was the one that I dragged myself because I have to manage 100 people. So, but I know that's part and parcel of what you need to do in a job. You still need to do it, okay? So it's same for trading. So the good thing is I built my interest in everything. Yeah, even though I like software development, I'm from Com Science and Maths, I like software development, but I was assigned testing role. I still need to build the interest and do it well. Like same for, I think investment and trading is a very interesting subject. First, you need to keep your mind open, build the interest so that it will push you to do it. You don't have to drag yourself, it's trading time again, I need to do this, right? So for me, I feel awake at market open, okay? I feel alive, yeah? So I feel alive. So that's how interesting trading. And I get to know what's happening in the world. I mean, a lot of people are not planning for why the Malaysian ringgit is dropping so much against the US dollar. And what is causing the Malaysian market to drop so much, right? So, and because we are not aware what's happening in the world, but when you actually invest and trade, you are more aware what's happening in the world. You are more proactive, right? You know why the, after the COVID-19, the US stock market went up so much because, there's so much money printing in US and Europe, and that's the best time to make money, right? So it's like there's so much opportunity out there. And would you like to build up your interest in an area that helps you to make money? Yes or no? Right. Of course, you cannot have all the time to do everything, but be selective on one thing that you want to do well that can help you with your financial future. Okay, I chose investment and trading. Yeah.
Kathleen, there's one question in the chat by Cheryl. So she asked, when you dedicated 1 hour a day back then, what style were you trading?
Oh, in fact, I was trading, swing trading. Yeah. Swing trading when I started, after that intraday, yeah. But during the beginning part, it was mostly swing trading, which I keep for 1 to 2 weeks to reach the target, and I get out, yeah.
Okay.
When I started, I trade a lot of options. After that, I have stocks and CFD and options, yeah.
And then there's a quick question by Chris. So can you just briefly explain what is trading and what's investing and what's the difference?
Oh, okay.
Just a quick summary.
Yeah, when we do investment, it's typically we need to have a long-term horizon, right? It's like looking for great companies where you want to put your money in. Example, right? So this is not a call for buying at any call to buy for any of these stocks because you need to make sure that you learn it properly, and there's a chart timing that you need to look at. Example, Apple and Microsoft are great companies, right? So when you want to invest, you're looking at businesses, great businesses that can last and do well for the long term. They are profitable, they have a strong growth, they have a strong management, right? And leadership as well. So from there, you will put your money in there. Then when you invest, who work for you? This is the part I like, right? When you invest, actually, you put your money on, let's say, Apple or Microsoft, the whole company is working for you. Okay, how many of you like that? The whole company is working for you to make you money. So the return of investment in Apple and Microsoft are more than 20% per year, right? So typically more than 30% annually. So because for every dollar you invest, we call it return of equity, every dollar you invest there, the company is working to make you profit. Okay, so that's investment. So you need to make sure that you understand what is a good business, right? There's a way to do that. But you also need to look at the stock chart to make sure that you're not buying high. No matter how great is the company, you still don't want to overpay for it, right? So there's a way to evaluate whether you how much this company is worth, so you don't pay too much for it. And you also look at the stock chart. It's actually a very simple stock chart for investors, yeah. But you still need to have a cut loss point. Okay, so so that's the details of it. But I don't want to go to the details. So investing, basically you have a 3-year plus horizon. Trading means you buy and sell, taking advantage of the price movement in the short term. For example, a stock will not go up in a straight line, right? So it may go up, then it retrace back a bit. Yeah, we call it retracement or pullback. Then it go up again, then it pulls back. So you can take advantage of the up and down of the stock price in the short term to make money. That means you buy, when it go up to a certain target, you sell. Then you wait for it to pull back, then you buy again, then go up to a certain level, you sell, right? That's called trading. Yeah, you buy and sell more often. Yeah.
So, Kat, to
hope that answered.
summarize,
Yeah.
investing is longer term and trading is shorter term, am I right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we have a question from May Tan here. Kathlyn, what do you think are the traits that you have that made you successful in this?
I think the most important is never give up. Yeah.
Definitely.
So it's
Persistence
persistent. I think the key is persistent. That if you want to, and the other part is I like to learn. Yeah. So it reflected in I like to attend seminars. I like to grow in not only investment and trading. I attend many seminars. Just we are running a business now. I will go for a business seminar. I have a passion in psychology, which helps in my trading. I think it's the eagerness to learn. Yeah, so the financial market is very big, right? And the other one is focus, right? So after I learn from many different gurus, it doesn't mean I use all of them. And over the years, I actually realized I add on a lot of my personal structured way of trading, yeah, which I have to figure out after attending so many, and also from my experience in the market. So it's about systemizing things, yeah. So I would say one of the contributing factor to my success, other than the important attribute of persistence, is being systematic. Yeah, being systematic, because and I have to I'm very grateful for Intel. Yeah, after working in Intel I worked 5 years in AMD and 12 years in Intel, and Intel is a very structured company. And because I work on automation, we deal a lot with the manufacturing line, and I can witness how Intel can create consistent output is because they have a standard operating procedure. Okay, and if you don't have a standard operating procedure, how to do things, you will get various, a lot of variant in the result, right? What we call the manufacturing yield, right? Let's say you put 1 million unit, how many will be a good one that comes up? And you have to train a lot of operators, right? There's operators come and go. Okay, so the turnover can be quite high in the manufacturing facility. And how do you ramp a person up to speed and be able to do that? Like, so that's where I bring this concept to trading. So I take it for granted because I thought that's the way to operate, because I've been managing that area for so long. It's just part of me, right? But a lot of people ask me, how come you can be so systematic in trading, even in your teaching? If you compare the educators out there, we are very different. We have a process map, okay, 1-pager summary on step-by-step how to do investment, how to do trend trading, midterm, how to do swing trading, right, which is shorter term, and even intraday, we have a process step. Because I believe that you cannot repeat a success, right, consistently without having a clear procedure, right? That's adopting the manufacturing cycle. Yeah. So I attribute this to it's a very, very key to my success, because I systemize it, the whole thought process, so that my decision making is clear. And this, through teaching, actually it helps me better, because I used to have the what they call that unconscious competence, right? After trading for so long, looking at the charts almost every day, you tend to know what to do, right? I look at the chart. It's just like, if you have a dog, right? When it behaves differently, you know what's happening. Yeah, it's the same. You will build that unconscious competence, just like driving, right? You don't have to read the instruction manual anymore. It's already part of you. But when I teach, it's different. Like, how do I transfer my experience to the students systematically, and for beginners to intermediate to advanced? Yeah. So, and that helps me to systemize my trading as well. So that's the systematic part. Yeah, and the other part is of course the discipline part. Okay.
You're ahead of me. That's actually the next section I was going to go to.
Yeah.
But I want to backtrack a bit and answer Jonathan's question first. So he had a really good question. So he asked whether students should trade together as a couple. Is that good for them or not? What do you think? What's your take on this?
Oh, okay. In fact, we have a lot of couples joining our course. What I would suggest, it's good to learn as a couple, right? Because it's good for you to plan for your family future together. However, I will not suggest to have the same trading account. Okay, you should separate the trading account so you have autonomy, right, in your decision making, and you learn at your own pace. Because everyone have their own style, right? One could be more suitable for longer term investing. The other one could be suitable for short term trading. And you want to allow the space for each one to learn without commenting. We have seen that when people join account, then they start to criticize each other. Why you make that decisions, which is not healthy. We don't want trading to become your reason for quarrel. Okay. Yeah. So very important, you can trade in different accounts, but still share your experience, right? Share your learning together. Yeah, so we have a couple coach, right, who shared their experience with us, like how they resolve this difference. So initially, they want to trade together the same account. Then they found out this challenge. So what they do is they still stay in the same room, 2 different computers, 2 different accounts, and once they finish trading, they share. And they can also during the trading itself, each one can be a bit different behavior, right? Some people, I don't like to be disturbed, right? Let me be focused when I'm trading. After that, I can talk to you, right? That was the men, okay? Women like to talk. Okay, so when they are in the same room, to the men, it could be a disturbance, right? So it also depends on individual. Yeah, but I do encourage learning together and sharing, but make sure that you respect each other differences in your trading style. And don't join account. I guess have separate paper trading account to start with. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, we have a question from Emilia. So can you briefly share your routine on weekdays and weekends? How many hours do you do you actually use to trade every day?
Okay, I have my alarm set at 9:30 p.m. Now that the market is open at 10:30 p.m. So at that time is when I check the overall market news. Yeah, so that's depend on what trading style you're doing. So I have some long-term investment. And when I can focus, right? So because I also have a busy schedule for my business, when I can focus, then I will also trade intraday, right? For intraday, I will look at what happened. So that's 1 hour before the market. If I do intraday, but if it's just investing or trend trading, then I just need to be there half an hour before, right? I just need to check what is the overall market doing and also my positions. Then half an hour into the market, I can already leave, right? If you're doing investing, if you have a positions to enter, okay? If you don't have positions to enter, you will just need to check whether the stock chart is still healthy, then you can close it. Yeah. So that's the typical routine if you are not doing short-term trading. But when I'm doing intraday trading means I will trade for 1 to 2 hours into the night. Yeah. So then I will do what we call a scenario planning. I will look at, okay, this is the sentiment for today, and which one has a good setup. I will have a list of stocks which I monitor closely for short-term trading. That means the stocks can move like $2 to $10 in a day, right? So I will place my scenario. So if it comes down to this level, I will trigger my buy, right? And I will set my profit target and my stop loss. Yeah. Sometimes it hit fast, which is like half an hour. Then I can decide whether I want to do the next trade, right? Or I can close shop. But typically I stay on for about 2 hours. Yeah, we're on an active day. But if the market is, sometimes the market I call it in Cantonese 5354, what I'm saying. So there's not much movement. Then you can decide to not do the active trading, right? Just monitor my longer term positions, and then you can do other works, right? Yeah. So I will catch up with my work sometimes. Yeah.
Okay, so
then at the sideline, I will just see what it's doing, because I don't need to be 100% focused when I'm not doing the active intraday trading. I can just leave the chart on and I can catch up my work. That should answer some of you busy professionals, right? I've been there before. I have 100 over emails a day when I was working for Intel. And even in Beyond Insights, right, there are things to follow up as well. So this is how I balance my time. Once I finish the active hour, I would suggest that you locate about 1 hour at least when you are doing your early stage learning about it. Okay, because I believe in momentum, right? Just imagine if you want to read a book, okay, and you read 1 page or 2 pages this week. Let's say Monday, you read 2 pages. Next week, you continue. What will happen? You probably forgotten what you have read previous week, right? Then you have to start over again. So the same goes with anything you want to learn. Right? Let's say you started learning something and you just do it 1 day. Then next week, or the worst thing is next month. Then only you continue. You have to restart the engine over and over again. And so if you want to speed up your learning curve, it's not about spending. If you were to allocate the same hour across a long period, it's better to shorten it to consecutive days and build a momentum. After that, you can take a rest because you already have the good learning curve, right? You learn very fast because it's like compound interest. Like that's what happened to me. I was in the market every day for about 1 hour, sometimes 2 hours in the past when I was still very busy with Intel, right? You cannot finish your work during the office hour in Intel. So after that, I continue to look at my emails and so on. And because I was in the market every day, it shortened the time you need to monitor. In fact, right, the stock, in trading, we ask you to draw the support and resistance, right? So where the stocks tend to come in to buy, for you to buy, and where you need to take profit. And those lines doesn't change so much, right? Typically only 2 weeks it changed. So it's actually less work. You already know what happened to the market yesterday. So the incremental change that you need to monitor is very little. And because I'm there in the market every day, I know what news cause what movement in the market. Okay, I can have a much faster learning compared to if I'm not in the market too often. And once my account grew, I decided to have some passive and some active, right? So that when I go for a holiday, right, I don't have to monitor the market. I still have passive income. Yeah, but at the beginning stage, it's better to dedicate time. But you need to also understand your own limitation as well. If you're really busy, don't force yourself to trade when you're busy. But you can still learn. Okay, when you're tired, then you don't want to make a decision for trading, right? But you can just keep to minimal, at least half an hour, check the market news and just look at the stock chart. Then you can still learn something. Then on the weekend, you dedicate time for that, right? So I dedicate about 2 hours of my time previously to revise on my manual. Okay, so because I attended trading class in the past, I revised on my manual. But if you ask about my routine right now, because of my competency, I only need to when I'm not active trader, actually half an hour is good enough just to monitor what happened to my positions, or if I have new positions, that's another half an hour into the market open. Active trading intraday will be 2 to 3 hours. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question. Sure. You just choose which one you can afford the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone aspires to get to your level, Kathlyn. And I want to make sure that everyone present today also knows how they can accelerate this journey of theirs, So in your opinion, how should they go about that,
For me, if you want to really shorten the learning curve, then of course I would encourage you to go through a proper education, which is what I go through. I learned it the hard way last time when I first started with KLSE. I just copy my colleague. Then I learned the hard way. Then when I go to Intel, having Intel stock options, I haven't attended any training, right? So that was very costly to me. I shared this to a lot of my friends in Intel as well as my students. If I knew just less than 10% of what I knew today, I would have sell my Intel share options at that time before the .com crash. Okay, and I could sell it at $65 instead of $22. And that I could have gained 265,000 ringgit just from exercising my Intel stock options on time. So there's like 265,000 way back in 2001, right? That's how many years ago? 22 years ago, right? What can you do with 265,000? You can buy a landed property in Penang, and right now would be like millions of dollars. So don't you think it's a very costly lesson, right? So 265,000, how many courses can you sign up? A lot, okay? So that's why I said the cost of not educating myself properly. And that's why after that, I attended many courses up to 11. And it's because I'm very passionate. I wanted to learn this. Even though I was working very hard at the time in Intel, I was implementing the SAP project, the first implementation of SAP in Intel cooling factory. So it was 3 months. I was working late nights in the factory during the implementation. While I was working very hard, Intel shares is coming down. How do you feel, right? My a big part of my compensation as a manager comes from my stock options, right? Besides the pay, which is close to 20K, but a big part of it is from my stock options. So I realized that I'm not taking charge of my finances, okay? So I don't blame on Intel. I still learn a lot from that project, but I get myself busy and I didn't take time to manage my finances. So I felt I'm not doing justice for myself. So it's not that we don't want to do our work properly, right? You still need to be a responsible employee, right? You have that role, you need to do it, but doesn't mean that you work 24 hours, right, for the company, right? You need to do your part. Then you need to still allocate some time for your future finances. Okay, if not on if you cannot afford 1 hour a night, at least on the weekend, 1 hour a week, or 2 hours a week. It depends on the trading style to work on it. Okay, so attend a proper training that will speed up your learning curve. Right. So why reinvent the wheel? It's very costly. How much time do you have to read books? Again, books a lot of them are very theoretical. When you attend a proper class, then it gives you a shorter time to competency. Like when you are able to be competent faster, you have a structured curriculum, then you can speed up your time to ROI. Yeah, time to make money. Right, so don't underestimate this. Some people like to figure things out themselves, right? That's where the ego kicks in, right? They don't like to follow people, just reinvent the wheel. Say, oh, I can buy books and read. Yeah, how much time would you have wasted then, right? So you also missed out the key thing is time to consistency. Yes, if you read a book, sometimes you buy some shares, you can get lucky and you make money. But can you repeat that, right? Do you have a systematic process, right? So most people, they depend on their friends to tell them what to buy. Right, so to me, there's a few things that's critical. Time to competency, right? You can speed up if you have proper education. Time to competency. The other one is time to return of investment, okay? And time to consistency, right? You want to be consistent. And when you have, when you reach the third level, which is you already shorten the time to be consistent, then you can compound your money very fast, okay? Because you won't be making money and then give it back, making money and give back because you don't have a structured methodology. Okay, so that's what I advise, and get proper coaching as well. So why coaching is important? Sometimes you don't know what you don't know, right? So it's like you cannot get a beginner to review your trades. Okay, so when you get stuck, you need to refer to someone experienced to see did you do it properly, right? And of course, I would suggest have a buddy group. When I first learned, when I attend the class, I have buddy groups, right? That keeps my momentum going, and we share the effort to review stocks, right? Let's say you've an investor. You don't have to research all the stocks. We can divide and conquer. Then each one, share with each other, and you can learn faster that way. And when you feel like slowing down, like get busy, then your friend will pull you, right? Just like hiking. I have a cousin who stay, 3 doors away, always ask me to go for exercise, and procrastinate, because they are all professional hikers, I would say. So finally, last Sunday, okay, I went with them. I feel so great about that. So because they stretch me, right? So they were professional hikers, and I said, okay, make sure that you don't walk too fast. And about 80% of the journey is a 1 hour hike, okay, quite challenging. 80% of the journey, it's really stretched my limit already. I said, okay, give me 5 minutes rest, I drink water, after I recover. But because they're higher standard, right, I want to follow them. And when I reach the peak, I have a 5 minutes rest, I continue. When I reach the peak, that sense of achievement was just amazing, right? So when you have friends that can help you to continue that journey to the end, it helps a lot. Yeah, it depends on you. Some people are don't need that. Okay, when it comes to exercise, I don't need that. Yeah, you have a strong buddy group to keep you on track. Okay, so trading as well. Yeah.
In summary, how can someone get started in the stock market?
So I mean, we do have classes for that, but if you want to understand better first whether this is for you and how you can get started, we do have a regular free seminar. Okay, typically about twice a month. And the next one is actually tomorrow. Yeah, so tomorrow evening, Thursday, 7:30 to 10:30, we have a free 3-hour seminar we use to conduct for the public. Okay, so we find that it's very important to educate people on how to invest safely. Okay, and because the stock market can be very volatile if you don't know how to manage it, right? It can be overwhelming. But when you have a systematic approach to it, then it will be safe. Like, so do join us for this webinar if you want to understand how to speed up that and have a systematic plan. Yeah, so later on we can share the link for you. Okay, just tomorrow night 7:30. And if you cannot make it for the weekday night, we also have another one on Saturday. Yeah, you can choose between these 2 days. Yeah, so do understand I'll be sharing the framework. Yeah, the framework for success in the stock market. Yeah, which is the being systematic, being versatile, and how to be safe. And the most interesting part is how you can be half right and still make money. Most people thought that I had to be 80-90% right to make money. So tomorrow I'll be sharing with you, even 40% right out of 100 trades, yeah, bigger statistics, you can still make money. And you're 50% right, you will make good money already. So I hope that overcome the anxiety that I must be right all the time. Yeah. So do join us for that.
Yep. So as we said just now, 45% of our students are women. Kathy, you want to invite them to make it 50%?
Yes, join us. Let's make it half. Okay, men and women are equal, right? Let's prove to people that men and women can also be successful. In fact, this 45% is a base of 5,000 plus students that we have, right? So it's actually a pretty good statistics to represent, and it's higher than the Bursa Malaysia. In fact, when I talked to Bursa Malaysia before the pandemic, yeah, they were sharing with me, it's only based on their total database of 3.2, right? That's 3.2 million account holder, right, in Malaysia. And at that time, they told me it's only 4% ladies. I was shocked when I hear that number. Why so low? Okay. Then they will say, okay, Kathlyn, why not you, share more so that there's more female that will become a trader. I'm glad, over the time, there are more female trader coming up, right? To 31%, 36% right now is pretty encouraging for Bursa Malaysia new account holder. I mean, a new accounts, right? But if you look at the average, I think it's lower. It's just the new accounts is higher. So let's make the statistics 50%. Okay, are you up for that? Okay. Okay.
I really hope they are. And Kathlyn, I did have someone personal message us for the slides and all the statistics today. So is it okay if we send them a copy of the materials later?
Yeah, sure. And
so
that will help to encourage them, right? Yeah, all these public websites.
Beneficial, So for those of you who want a copy, just WhatsApp us. We'll drop you the WhatsApp link later in the chat. Okay. And any questions, you can stay back later, or even we can answer you in the comments later. Kathlyn, so thank you so much for your time today. Is there any last motivational quote or anything that you want to give to the people, to all the ladies present today?
Yes, for me, the most important is the belief, right? The belief that you can actually do it as well. Yeah, when you believe in something, it will help you overcome a lot of obstacles. And in anything that you do, you will have a learning curve. You will have challenges. Most important is to be clear, the why behind it, right? Why you need to invest, right? Why you need to plan for your future. And when it's important enough, just do it. Yeah, don't think too much of whether I have time. Just make time, right? The key is make time. We are always very busy, right? So as I mentioned to you, I have a very busy job. But if I did not make time at a time, if I were to give all the excuses of no time when I was in Intel, which I thought I have all the right to say I have no time, I would not be where I am today. Right? I was able to quit my job after 3 years of taking my trading seriously, just 3 years. My part-time pay from trading was able to replace my full-time income. That shows that dedicated effort, really pays off. Yeah. So that's what I want to encourage you. And we have many coaches that are women as well, right? We have male coaches and female coaches that are there to support you. Yeah. Okay. So join our sessions, and there's a lot more I would like to share. And if you still have anything that holds you back, feel free to talk to us. Yeah, we are here to help you.
Yeah, definitely. As a bonus as well, if you're joining us for the session tomorrow night, we'll also be sending you a financial calculator for you to calculate your personal numbers that you need to retire. This is something that Kathlyn always emphasized on. So for those of you who haven't attended the webinar, I really hope to see you there. And to wrap up today's session, I want to, for this Women Empowerment Month, Beyond Insights, we are also working with Women of Will, an organization that works to transform the lives of disadvantaged women in Malaysia. And, not everyone is, as privileged as us to have the belief that anyone can do it regardless of gender, right? So Women of Will, they empower these women and their communities through microcredit financing combined with entrepreneurial development program. They believe in teaching women how to fish rather than giving them the fish, which really aligns with our core belief on teaching students the why behind what they do in the stock market. If you have attended, of course, you know that, we always explain why you do what you do. We don't want you to go in blindly. We want you to learn how to fish. So because, we always want students to be able to think independently and confidently. And our mission here is to bring out the best in you and your financial future. So a portion of our proceeds this month will be donated to the Women of Will organization to empower more women as well. Okay. So as I said, really hope to see you at the session tomorrow. And for any questions we have not responded to, we'll follow up with you in the comments. So if you still have any questions, please comment it below. And, not sure if Kathlyn wants to add anything else.
Yes, I wrote one inspiring story on one student that I know of, and she has 8 kids. Okay, one of the students I've mentored in one of my previous guru's class, and she started trading, without knowing even how to operate the computer. Okay. And in fact, the people besides her have to help her with that. But she was very dedicated. After the course, she really practiced. And later we find out that she actually grew her account a lot significantly. And in the end, she was hired by one of the UK fund management house to manage a UK fund. Yeah. And she has 8 kids, right? So for those of you who say that, don't have time for family, and she had 8 kids. Yeah. So when she was competent in it, she was sharing with me on how she teach her 8-year-old kid how to look at candlestick chart. Okay. And the son was able to share, mommy, this one looks like going up. Okay. So it was so inspiring when she shared it with me. And so when people say that, if you have kids to take care of, you won't have time. I think it's about how you manage your time, and is their future, financial, the taking care of their future finances, is it important enough for you, right? Their education and so on, or better living standard. Yeah. So I think when there's a strong why, then you will be able to work it out, right? Otherwise, we'll give a lot of excuses. Okay. So I hope this story inspires you. Okay.
Yeah. That's absolutely amazing. 8 kids and
8 kids, 8 children, and she was very successful. She had made her millions already. She started from a 2,000 account. Yeah,
oh wow,
US dollar, 2,000 account. Then she grew into like 11,000 in a very short time, like 1.5 years. And then she grew into her millions. But she was a very active, dedicated trader, to the extent that a UK fund management house saw her testimony and then invited her to manage a fund in UK. Yeah, so she applied off in UK already, to UK already. Yeah.
I see.
So very inspiring. Yeah.
Okay. So Kathlyn, I think we have another 5 minutes. Maybe you can take 1 or 2 questions, and the rest of the questions, please do keep it coming, because we can still answer your comments after this session ends as well. So any question, please put it in the comments. We have one from Joey. So after attending so many courses, how do you decide which area to focus on first? Is it the technical analysis or fundamental analysis? What's your take and opinion on this, Kathlyn?
Actually, to me, both are important. But if you have a limited time, then I would say that you master the technical first. Because in our course, we actually provide a watch list, right, which is done by our analyst team and myself. We review it. We already have pre-screened stocks that will shorten the learning curve. So you don't have to screen the stock yourself. You just pick the stock from our list. Then you look at the technical chart. Yeah. So then you can just learn the timing. Yeah. So later on, once you have more time, then you can focus back on if you want to screen your own stocks, right, then you focus on the fundamental. I still believe both are important. Right? So it depends on whether you want to focus on more short-term trading. The shorter term trading you want to focus on, the more important is the technical analysis, the charting part. Right. The more longer term, the more important is the fundamental. Yeah. Okay, so I hope I answered the question.
Yeah. Well, I see Cheryl was inspired by your previous story, so I'm really glad that you shared that with her. Yeah. And if any of you saw that, think that you are inspired by any of the things that Kathlyn shared, please put in the comments as well, so that we're all sharing our opinions here. It's a safe space, right? Okay, let me see if there's any other question to answer in the chat. I think that's all. For anything else, we can follow up with them later. Remember, if any of you want the materials from today, just drop us a WhatsApp and we'll get back to you on that. Okay. Right. No, I think that's it. Thank you.
Someone is asking for the free class tomorrow, do they need to reserve a slot? Yeah. So I think you'll be posting a link, right, Ning Chuan?
Already posted. They just
already posted. Yeah.
It, yeah.
You just look at the link and register for that. And also share with your friends so that they can learn how to, invest and trade well. Because a lot of people that I know of do not have a proper strategy, right? They don't have a proper way to screen stocks, when to time it, how to do the risk management. And that's why trading is perceived to be risky. Like, so if you are sharing this seminar with them so that they can learn the proper way, that would actually help them to save a lot of tuition fee to the stock market, I call it, right? Learning the hard way, right?
Okay, now I think that's it. Thank you so much, everyone. Happy International Women's Day, to all the ladies here, and for all the men here. I'm really glad that you're here to support women as well and to empower them. All right, that's it. Thank you, everyone. And thank you so much.
One more thing, since this is a Facebook Live, it will be there for you to view back. And feel free to share with your friends so that they can also learn from this sharing session as well, right? So I hope they can be inspired that, it's not a gender bias profession. Okay. Okay, do share with all your Facebook friend or other friends.
So, and well, any questions that we have not responded, we'll follow up with you in the comments. And I really believe that Beyond Insights provide a structured, systematic process for us to learn how to fish, right? And do any of you believe in learning how to fish for yourself? Okay. If you do, please type in the chat, because, well, then we do have aligned values in that case. And we want to empower you to, to achieve Kathlyn's level as well, to have enough money to make choices that are important to you in life, to have the time to spend with your kids, to have the time to go on holiday with them, to spend your time with your parents, or, even your spouse. A lot of us are juggling so many things in life, work, career. I mean, career is work. Even kids, you have to take the time to teach them things, right? It's really tiring, we can understand. But, I hope you see the light at the end of the tunnel and continue to persevere on this journey if you've already started. And if you haven't, please do join us for tomorrow's session so that you can at least take the first step. All right.
I can assure you that the satisfaction is quick, once you master this area. So thank you again, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah.
All right. See you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.